Welcome to MidLIFE Matters, where we celebrate women's wisdom and wit. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, Maria Campos Harlow, currently the Executive Director of the United Way of Meriden and Wallingford, and she is passionate about community service. She has served on many town committees and groups. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Georgian. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. You were recently a guest on the Citizen Mike show.
I see this as a tremendous opportunity to do something meaningful to help those who are struggling in our community.
Well, it's very encouraging to hear this discussion tonight. I just want for all of us to keep in mind that we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something that is really meaningful in the community to help people to move ahead, to get over the damage caused by the pandemic, and we can move ahead. You have an enormous amount of resources and knowledge of expertise from the nonprofits in town.
Could you highlight some of the key services that you provide? The United Way of Meriden and Wallingford.
Our mission is to mobilize resources to create lasting change. We focus on helping every single individual in the community to have access to health, education, and financial stability. We do that by raising funds in Meriden and Wallingford and invest them back in Meriden and Wallingford in the form of grants to our local nonprofits, or we fund programs and initiatives that serve the Wallingford Meriden community.
So what would be an example, say, of a financial initiative?
One of our agencies has a program that is financial literacy for people who are coming out from homelessness. So that is one example. All the United Way of Connecticut have a program called Save Our Life, and it's an initiative to assist individuals to save money, and they receive some incentives. They have access to financial advisors and to teach them in the process of getting a good credit, getting good in good saving habits, and moving them up into the financial ladder. And like that, there are many other programs around the holidays. We have Adopt a Family. That is an initiative that invites people in the community, families, businesses, to adopt a family in need. Through one of our local nonprofits, we receive nominations of a family that is in need, and those individuals or a family or friends buy every single item in the list for that family. It's incredibly helpful. Around Christmas time, many families in our community have to make difficult choices. Do I pay rent? Do I pay my utilities? Or do I buy gifts for my family and celebrate Christmas? So this has been going for over 20 years, and it has been an absolutely beautiful program, and I have been witnessing many miracles happening every single year around the program.
Wonderful. That's a great example. Thank you. So just helping people get into the whole awareness of how the system works and how it can work for them, and the benefits of not constantly being reactive to the most recent financial crisis, but rather have a little way to navigate.
Exactly. So we invite our local nonprofits to submit a grant application that will address needs in the areas of education, health, financial stability, or even basic needs. Through the work of the nonprofits, they work to respond to those needs. And that is one of the ways. And another way is we have our own initiatives. We're always reaching out to the community, learning about the needs, and figuring out how we can best respond to those needs. Right now, recently, last year, we started a community outreach to determine what's the greatest need right now in our community, or the most pressing need in our community. We reached out to our corporate partners, we reached out to our nonprofit agencies, community leaders, and other local funders. And at every single meeting, the issue of workforce development kept coming up. So now this year, we're going to be focusing the majority of our efforts into workforce development.
Wonderful. So thank you. So people can visit your site and learn, a lot more about all of that. So how long have you been with United Way now?
Since 2018, so it's 3 years.
And then COVID came.
And then
So you had about a year.
that first year that you get used to,
Right.
you're learning, you're
Right.
trying to feel the job, and then COVID happens. And you know what? That COVID really fired me up. As soon as all of this craziness happened, right away we made our office completely remote, to be able to work completely remote. And right away I started reaching out to our nonprofit leaders in the community, because I first wanted to know from peer to peer, how are we doing? Because it was a really very scary time. How is the community doing? And how are their agencies doing? Because we needed to respond to what was happening. So it was a tremendous amount of wonderful sharing from all the executive directors, very openly. And wonderful opportunities for collaboration came up from that. I saw that really moved me to reach out to our local funders in this area and create Coronavirus Response Fund. So we partnered with the Meriden Wallingford Community Foundation and a number of our local foundations, wonderful foundations. We created this fund. We reached out to individuals in the community, and we raised $200,000 that we distributed back very quickly in the community in Meriden and Wallingford.
So it's been a couple of years now with COVID.
Yes.
And we've all experienced the ups and downs and the information and the corrections and the,
Yes.
trying to just be flexible and adaptive. And have you been able to initiate anything new in that 2 years? Do you feel like you're largely in a response mode?
With COVID, this is what we see. We see a segment of people, a group of people who are thriving, and they are doing absolutely wonderful. And that is great. But you also have a segment of the community that is struggling greatly. In addition to that, there is this segment of the population that United Way always focuses on, and it's called ALICE, Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. These are this group of individuals that have a job. They work, they have 2, 3 jobs, they do all the right things, but they still can't make ends meet because the cost of living in Connecticut is so high. But they also don't qualify for government assistance because they are above poverty level. For us, this population has been a major focus. We know, finding a solution is difficult, but we are very motivated in our workforce development initiative, because if we get people trained and we help people to improve their skills so they can earn a better income, they will be able to move up and get out from that ALICE threshold and be able to more meaningfully support their families. So that's what we are very excited about doing right now. United Way is in this beautiful position where we are right in the center from the business community, our local factories and companies, our nonprofits, and individuals, people in the community, and educational institutions and training organizations, that if we can bring everything together, we can do great, we can really help meaningfully to advance people into this process.
So with a family, for example, would you look at workforce development for, say, a parent as well as perhaps a child that might just be getting out of school, or, not quite immersed in the educational or the work experience at this point?
People are at different places in their lives. So the one thing that I am committed to and that I want to is to really work with people who really want to go through this process, because it's very time consuming. It takes a lot of resources, and we don't have that many resources. So we really want to focus on people who really want to go through this. The best way to do it is to work through our local nonprofits, those who want to be part of this, that will have dedicated staff to do this kind of work. They have the personal relationship with their clients, with individuals in the community. They know of their needs. They know how to assess where they are, and they can provide all the information about what type of programs, what type of career path they can take, and what type of programs and training opportunities are available, and also together through our network of nonprofits to help address any barrier that that individual may have that would prevent him or her from completing their program, from getting a job and staying in the job.
So it's very tailored, takes a lot of commitment on the person's part. So I'm sure there's a readiness assessment.
Yes.
Like, is the person really in a space where they can see themselves being successful, and with a little extra help in certain areas are likely to be able to take the best advantage.
That is exactly right. We're going to recruit you.
Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you. And please tune in to hear other fascinating women on future segments of MidLIFE Matters. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and thank you for joining us.